I don't see, I thought for sure we'd see Mr. Hudock here. Oh, yeah, he's here. Oh, he's here? Yeah, he says stuff. I see. Hope I parked far enough down there. Probably should have went to the end. Anytime you want to start. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hutchison Park in Hopwood, Pennsylvania for this evening's contest between the A's and the Phillies. This is 12U Little League tonight from Hutchison Ballpark. 81 degrees under mostly sunny skies right now, some clouds on the horizon, a very light breeze blowing in off of Lake Hutch just beyond the center field fence. Joshua Scully here with you tonight alongside Bill Dice. We're very excited to be back. It seems like just yesterday that we were here with the South Union Township Sports Network to share coach pitch, T-ball, and, of course, Little League, such as this game, with you last year. And we're excited with an opportunity again to do that this year. We've got a full slate of baseball coming up over the course of the next month and a half. The South Union Township Supervisors present this game tonight from Hutchison Park. It's HARC Baseball as the A's take on the Phillies. And again, this is Joshua Scully with you tonight alongside Bill Dice. This is a cooperative venture with Township Supervisors Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott, along with Armstrong and Breezeline Cable and our friends at CUTV, including Gary Smith. Gary, if by chance somehow you were listening to this tonight, we hope you were well. We're going to share our starting lineups with you now for the Phillies to begin. The Phillies will be treated as the guest here tonight, the A's to be treated as the home team. And your starting lineup for the Phillies will look like this. The Phillies are under the direction of head coach Robert Newman Jr., and their sponsor is Ford of Uniontown. We will see, leading off for the Phillies, number 14, Hunter Moore. He'll be followed by Bobby Newman III, who will bat second. Will Piclamini will bat third. Your cleanup bat tonight, Connor Boscovich. Your fifth batter for the Phillies will be Isaac Hartline. The sixth batter, Cody Kryzak. He's also going to be doing the pitching tonight for the Phillies. Batting seventh, Liam Kavanaugh. Batting eighth, Simon Zyla. And batting nine, Gavin Brashear. Due up here in the top of the first will be Moore, Newman, and Piclamini. And certainly a few of those names I remember from last year. Bill, you probably remember a few of them too. If I am correct in this, I'm trying to remember to the best of my ability. I believe we saw Bobby Newman III hit for the cycle last year.
You know what? I think you're right, Josh. You know, a lot of talent out here tonight. You know, a lot of familiar names, like you said. You know, so I look for a good game. You know, this is our first game down here this season. You know, we couldn't ask for much better weather.
No.
And, you know, it's just beautiful out, and you know, I'm ready to see some good baseball.
I think we should have a good one for you tonight for sure. Pitching for the A's will be number 6, Garrett Holt. The A's, under the direction of head coach Dan Schiffbauer. Their sponsor is Sprouse Insurance Group. Thank you, as always, for checking us out tonight. We do actually have two games for you this evening. The next one coming up, a scheduled 7:30 start, will be the Pirates and Rangers. That's also 12U Little League. This one, again, the A's and Phillies. As you might expect, the A's are in their green uniform today with some gold trim, white pants. The Phillies are going to be in their red uniform, white pants, and white number. We want to thank our sponsors tonight, Smith Lewis Chess CPAs in Uniontown, Davis & Davis, attorneys at law, the Sprouse Insurance Group and Agent David Hughes, SWGI Specialist, now a part of U.S. Digestive Health, the UPMC Rehabilitation Institute and physical therapist Jim Burns, United Bank, South Union Township Supervisors Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott. And as Bill just pointed out, an absolutely gorgeous day here in southwestern Pennsylvania. We sort of deserved one, I think, after we've had a few days recently sullied by rain and storms and even some flood warnings, primarily to our east, but some areas seeing a surplus of rainfall and some destruction that walks hand in hand with that when it happens. Today, though, not a rain cloud in sight, and honestly, the few clouds I can see here from the press box are just over top of the Chestnut Ridge, off in the distance, nowhere close. We're just a few minutes now to first pitch, the Phillies and A's. Many of you who are familiar with the Phillies and A's of Major League Baseball may know that The A's and Phillies at one time both shared the city of Philadelphia. The A's were originally the Philadelphia Athletics. The Philadelphia Phillies, of course, still call Philadelphia home. The A's have become somewhat nomadic in that regard, as the starting pitcher for the A's tonight continues to loosen. Again, starting for the A's is number 6, Garrett Holt, and now he is prepared to face Hunter Moore. Moore's a right-handed bat. He'll stand in the right-handed batter's box, equal to the plate. And we want to thank our umpires for being here with us tonight, too. Certainly can't have the game without them. Now Garrett Holt's set to go. First pitch in this game is underway. This one is going to be outside, ball 1, 1-0 count. The A's uniforms really sharp. That green and gold definitely pops. 1-0 pitch on the way. This one swung on and missed, 1-1. Many people associate the Athletics, regardless of what city they called home, with their elephant mascot. Holt to deliver the 1-1. It's on the way. This one's upstairs, and handling the catching duty tonight for the A's is going to be number 3, Max Voitish. Holt with the 2-1 pitch on the way. This one is going to be hit and drifting foul to even the count at 2. The A's uniform, currently worn by this 12U team, has the HARC baseball logo, as all of the teams do, on one sleeve and the American flag on the other sleeve. But, of course, the Athletics, when they were in Philadelphia, this was over 100 years ago, they adopted that elephant mascot when the team manager, Connie Mack, here's the 2-2 pitch now coming from Holt. This one's on the way, and that one's going to be fouled back right to us. Count will stay 2-2. When the team manager, Connie Mack, found that a local Philadelphia industrialist had, quote, an elephant on his hands that he was looking to be done with. And so Connie Mack purchased the elephant and used it as the mascot for the Philadelphia Athletics. This one inside. Count will go full now, 3-2 to our leadoff bat, Hunter Moore. And, of course, later the A's would adopt a costume elephant mascot. Now, that costume elephant mascot is now referred to as Stomper. Here's the payoff pitch, 3-2. That one is outside, and we're going to see a walk here for Hunter Moore. Robert Newman III, Bobby Newman, will make his way into the batter's box now with a runner on first base. But, Bill, for a long time that mascot had a different name. He was not referred to as Stomper. For many years he was known as Mr. Harry Elefante. And this one is in for a strike, and some indifference here as Moore is going to sneak down to second base. And we're going to give him the steal there. Holt will check on that runner now, who gives a high five to the A's second baseman, then takes his lead. Pitch on the way to Newman. Runner goes again. This one's upstairs. And I'm going to check that. It looks like the catcher for the A's may not be, in fact, Max Voitish. It looks like he is wearing a different number, so we'll confirm that for you. Nope, it is, in fact, Max Voitish. Apologize there for the confusion there. Number 10 is behind the plate. This one's outside, so Newman with a friendly count here and a runner on third base. Nobody out, top of the first inning. Garrett Holt working against Bobby Newman. Pitch on the way. This one going to be popped up over the infield, and the shortstop is going to call off the third baseman. The ball then bounces in. Moore is going to try to score. The throw to home to get him is close, but not in time. Moore is in with the run, and Newman is going to end up on second base on the throw. We'll give Newman a single there. Bobby Newman hit that one sky high, and Jacob Hudak, who had drifted over, I think probably had a difficult play there against the sky. The sun is definitely still very bright, no question about that. Will Piclamini in the batter's box now. Where's number 9 for the Phillies? Now Newman's on the move, and this is a well-hit ball toward Hudak. He's going to nearly snag that one. Ball bounces into left field, and Newman's going to come around to score. That's going to make the game 2-0. And safe at second base Good piece of hitting there for Will Piclamini.
Good slide there, too, by Piclamini to avoid the tag. I think the ball actually beating to the base, but good slide there in the second.
Yeah, he did a good job getting himself up to second base. Now, we remember this young man from last year, Connor Boscovich, right-handed bat at the plate, and the Phillies again going to steal a base here as Piclamini moves up to third. 2 runs across here, top 1. A's and Phillies on the South Union Township Sports Network. This one hit on the ground to third. Well played there by the third baseman, Liam Turacek. And the throw onto first base is going to retire Boscovich. So 1 down. A run does score on the back of that play. We'll give Boscovich the RBI. And Piclamini scores a run to make this one 3-0. Now at the plate, Isaac Hartline. Here's the pitch to Hartline to get him started. This one's down and away for ball 1. 1 out here, top 1. 12U Little League at Hutchison Park. Beautiful day here at the park. Quite a few people still on the lake fishing here in the early hours of the evening. 1-0 pitch going to be hit on the ground past a diving Holt, but right to the second baseman who's up with it. The throw is not quite in time. Good job there by Christian Curry to get his glove on that ball. Cam Hayden playing first base, stretched out for that one, but the runner able to beat it there. So far, so good for the Phillies. Now we'll see the Phillies pitcher, Cody Kryzak, number 7. He's a left-handed bat. First lefty we've seen today, and he's going to give this one a ride into left, and that one gets down in left field, and this could be trouble. The lead runner is going to hold at third base. Kryzak, though, goes for 2 when he's out there. 2 down. Hartline did safely get into third base.
Nice hit there by the batter. Just nice play by the outfielders to get the ball in quick second base.
Yeah, the outfield did a nice job there. Left fielder Silas Mitchell got after that ball pretty quickly, got it in, gets the out at second base. This pitch going to be outside, ball 1. 1-0 to Liam Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh, right-handed bat, will bat with a runner on third and 2 down. Here's the pitch from Holt on the way. This one going to be outside. We go 2-0. Healthy lead for the base runner, Hartline, who will trot back and step on third base, but he was several steps down the line to home as that pitch broke the plane of the plate. He'll take a lead here. He's going to be held on by Liam Turacek. This pitch is in for a strike. Good-looking pitch there for Holt. 3-0 your score. The Phillies again, sponsored by Ford of Uniontown, the Athletics, Sprouse Insurance Group. We want to thank both of those organizations for helping to enable this game tonight. This pitch is going to skip across home, and Hartline's going to try to score, and he's in. Good job there by Isaac Hartline. Heads-up play. Bill, I don't know if we should score that as a wild pitch or a pass ball. Probably a wild pitch.
I'd say a wild pitch, yeah. I mean, not that it really matters, but man, like one thing I've noticed already, Josh, these Phillies, man, they're getting big jumps on the pitch.
Yeah, they're very aggressive, and they certainly have capitalized on that so far. They have scored now 4 runs here in the top of the first inning. Breeze picking up just a bit. This pitch inside, and a free pass issued to Liam Kavanaugh. So we'll see Simon Zyla. Zyla wears number 10 for the Phillies. He'll bat with a runner on first base and 2 down, top 1. Here at Hutchison Park, we're on the Little League field. Wonderful artificial turf here at the Little League field. This one upstairs, 1-0. Sort of blends seamlessly with the outfield, which is natural grass. Quite a few spectators taking this game in. We do have a second game coming up for you, the Pirates and Rangers. That one's scheduled for a 7:30 start. This pitch up high, 2-0. And we'll be back tomorrow night, too.
A little coach pitch action tomorrow night.
TGIF tomorrow. TGIB maybe. Thank goodness it's baseball. This one swung on and missed. The runner from first is going to advance down to second base. Kavanaugh with a steal. The Phillies, as Bill pointed out, have been pretty fleet on the bases.
Yeah, they're just getting huge leads. I mean, the catcher can't even throw the ball.
And this one swung on and missed. 2 strikes now on number 10, Simon Zyla. Zyla will be followed by Gavin Brashear, should he reach successfully. Pitch on the way. This one fouled back. Looks like the club here at Hutchinson is actually having their lawn mowed at present. Beautiful property here. Spent many a summer evenings back in the day watching the Pirates at the club at Hutchinson. Runner's going to go, pitches up high, and will be left there. And the runner into third base.
Now, Josh, maybe my memory's not very good, but last season I didn't remember him leading off. Do you?
I vaguely remember them at some level being allowed to steal. This pitch is actually going to go behind Simon Zyla, and he'll draw the free pass. I want to say at the younger levels you can't, but I do vaguely remember that from last year at this level, I think.
Maybe my memory's just starting to go as I age.
Well, mine's long since gone. Here's Gavin Brashear. Holt, pitch on the way, swung on. And Brashear will miss this one, 0-1. I'm getting to the point in my life where the next time I buy a new vehicle, I'm going to have to ask for multiple key fobs right out of the gate and just buy them that day. Runners on the corners, this one downstairs. Count will go even, and Zyla will advance down to second base. So this is unofficial, but right now I have the Phillies with 5 stolen bases in this frame alone. This pitch going to be fouled up sharply by Gavin Brashear. The Phillies have sent all of their players to the plate here in the first inning. They are sans one player tonight who is not with the team. So they dress 9, and they have sent 9. Pitch on the way from Holt. This one well struck to short, and it's going to find its way through. That one had eyes, as they like to say, and a run will score. And pushing it all the way to second, and in at second, a second run will score while they go after Brashear. So 2 RBIs for that young man on the hit. Zyla coming across to score, and Kavanaugh. And as everyone has batted, that's going to do it here for the top of the first inning. The Phillies did, in fact, successfully send all of their bats to the plate. We want to thank our sponsors again. Certainly we could not do this without them, and we're very glad to have the opportunity to be with you here from Hutchinson. Smith Lewis Chess CPAs in Uniontown, Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law, the Sprouse Insurance Group and agent David Hughes, SWGI Specialists, now a part of U.S. Digestive Health, the UPMC Rehabilitation Institute, and physical therapist Jim Burns, United Bank, and the South Union Township Supervisors Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott. 6-0 is your score as we travel into the bottom of the first inning. Phillies now will take to the field. Cody Kryzak going to handle the pitching. He's a lefty. And he'll loosen here for the Phillies. Here's your starting lineup for the Athletics. Leading off, Jacob Hudak. We saw him at shortstop in the top half of the first. Batting second, the pitcher Garrett Holt. Batting third, the catcher Max Voitish. So we'll see at least those 3. Batting fourth, Liam Turacek, the third baseman. Batting fifth, the second baseman, Christian Curry. Batting sixth, Cameron Hayden. He's at first base right now. Batting seventh, Vanden Bickar. Batting eighth, Griffin Zavachin. Batting ninth, Isaiah Nicholas. And batting 10th, Silas Mitchell. A few of these names certainly familiar from last year.
Yeah, and Josh, some of these youngsters I have in class as well. So.
Oh yeah,
I know you talked about Max Voitish. He's known as Double X.
Okay,
in the hallways of Wharton Elementary.
I see that. He does spell his first name with 2 X's. This is Jacob Hudak. We're familiar with him too. Pitch on the way to him. Going to be taken for a strike. He'll be followed again by Garrett Holt and by Double X, Max Voitish, the catcher. Second pitch of this plate appearance on the way. Going to be swung on and missed. I remember Kryzak from last season, too. Several of these Phillies, at the very least, have familiar names to me. This one going to skip across the plate, and Hudak will step aside. Now Hudak's back in the batter's box and ready to go. Sign received by Kryzak. Here's the pitch. This one going to just miss. The umpire drawing some jeers from the Phillies faithful. There's several Phillies fans seated right behind home plate, and I think they all were anticipating getting that call a strike. This one going to be upstairs. So Hudak has battled his way back into the count here for the A's. Some shadows starting to creep across the outfield and infield here at Hutchison. And this is going to be taken as strike 3. And there's one down here in the top of the first, and we'll see Garrett Holt, who has a chance to help his own cause. He'll step in to face Kryzak. Pitch from Kryzak on the way. This one is going to be struck down the line, and that one's a foul ball. Good contact.
Yeah, Josh, I really dislike those ones down the first base line.
They're hard for us to track.
I get blocked by the press box here, so I really can't see much past that dirt spot out there in right field.
I keep my eye on the batter and try to pick up on some body language as they typically slow down and watch that foul ball drift away. Holt with a really sharp orange batting helmet. Kryzak will come set. And he'll step and deliver. This one hit on the ground over top of Kryzak to second. Going to be handled there, thrown on to first, and Holt is retired. Good work there by the Phillies defensively. 2 down.
Yeah, Josh, one thing about playing on this turf infield, you don't get very many bad hops. You know, the ball is a lot faster, but there's no hitting rocks or holes or dirt mounds.
Very good point. Kryzak ready to start off Voitish, and this one nearly hits him. 1-0. 2 down here, bottom one, 6-0 your score. The Phillies and the A's on a beautiful Thursday evening here at Hutchison Park. This one going to be fouled back. Count goes even, 1-1. The Phillies and A's both once were together in Philadelphia. The Phillies, of course, still there at the major league level. The A's have bounced around. They've been a little nomadic throughout their existence. The A's right now playing in West Sacramento. 1-1 pitch on the way. This one going to be fouled up. Uh-oh, this one could be heading toward a vehicle. No, it will bounce safely between several vehicles.
Well, that's good, Josh, because I got my truck parked there right behind us. So I really took a chance with that one today.
Yeah.
There's some moving
Very
furniture.
close. Yeah, somebody's on the move. Some couches and chairs going by on a trailer. This one is going to be upstairs. The count goes even yet again, 2-2. But when the Phillies and A's were in Philadelphia together, they did play exhibition games against each other. They were not members of the same league at that point. 2-2 pitch on the way. This one way up high. Great job there by the catcher, who twists around to secure that ball. Catching tonight is Bobby Newman III. He's behind the plate for the Phillies. The A's and Phillies in the early 20th century played many exhibition games against each other. Full count offering on the way, swung on and missed, and that's going to do it for the first inning. Voitish unable to make contact there. And we've played one now here at Hutchison between the Phillies and the A's. Your score, 6-0 in favor of the Phillies. If you're watching this game on Breezeline or Armstrong Cable, we'd like to let you know that South Union Township Sports Network games and programs are now available live online. It's easy to find. Just log on to youtube.com and search South Union Television or follow the South Union Township Sports Network on Facebook for program updates. Facebook.com/South Union TV. Subscribe for notifications when we go live. And the A's return to the field, and the Phillies prepare to return to the plate here now in the top of the second inning. At the major league level, the Phillies and Athletics have played 27 official Major League Baseball games against each other since interleague play began. Of course, the Athletics are in the American League, the Phillies in the National League. Of those 27 meetings, the Phillies have won 14. The Athletics have won 13. So pretty close in that regard. Coincidentally, if you're interested in that sort of baseball trivia, the Pittsburgh Pirates at the major league level, among all opponents that they have ever faced, own the lowest winning percentage against the Athletics. They have played the Athletics 24 times, and the Pirates have only emerged victorious in 7 of those contests. So the A's are back in the field in their green uniform, gold number and trim. The Phillies are back to the top of the order. So we're going to see Hunter Moore get us started once again. Moore last time through drew a walk, stole a base, scored a run. He'll be followed by Bobby Newman and Will Piclamini. Holt taking a moment to loosen here. We're just outside of Hopwood, PA tonight, South Union Township. South Union Township, coincidentally, and I could stand to be corrected on this, but I'm going to say this with some confidence, is the only township, the only municipality, perhaps, but certainly I believe the only township in Fayette County that recorded a population gain between 2010 and 2020. Holt coming set. He's ready to see these Phillies again. Pitch on the way. This one going to be upstairs for a ball, 1-0. Again at the plate, Hunter Moore going to get us started. He wears 14 for the Phillies. Holt, 1-0 pitch on the way. This one is going to skip outside. Voitish not quite able to snag that one. Certainly gave it a good try, though. 2-0. Few ducks on Lake Hutch. I don't see any geese yet. 2-0 pitch on the way. This one is well struck, and it will stay fair into left field. Coming over to get it, Hudak going to throw on to second. We've seen this before, but the ball skips away from Curry. At least I believe that's Curry. I'm going to correct myself there. I believe at second base right now we're seeing Griffin Zavachin. So that one just off the mark from Zavachin, and he had that one skip past him and go into right field, so runner gets all the way to third. Pitch to Newman. Newman likes that one. He sends it to center. That one is off the fence. Newman around first base. Full speed ahead. He's going to get at least 2 here, and he will stay put at 2. Tempting the throw, and he'll drift back. An RBI double for Bobby Newman. Good, strong contact there on the very first pitch.
One hop the fence there. Newman with a huge lead on second.
Yeah, Newman was sort of tempting the throw as Piclamini steps up. This one's going to go outside, and Newman's off to the races. He didn't even have a chance to take all of his equipment off.
No, I think he's putting one of his oven mitts on.
Oh, yes he is. Those have really come into style. All levels of baseball. It's incredible. This pitch is going to nearly hit Piclamini.
Yeah, I kind of wish I would have invented them, Josh. I didn't know an oven mitt on the base pass was going to be such a thing.
Right? Big hit. See him at the major league level, college level. This one going to be outside. Piclamini will leave it. Newman's going to stay at third. Saw a lot of them at the college level this season at Penn State Fayette. Virtually every player who thought they might have a chance, even a remote chance to steal a base. Piclamini going to take a ball way up high, and he'll draw the walk. Having one of those. And the A's manager is going to step out, Dan Schiffbauer, and have a word with Holt. Really want to thank our coaches, too. Obviously, they give a great deal of their time and energy to help make these teams happen.
Looks like we're going to have a pitching change here, Josh.
I think we're going to, too. Fist bump for Holt. And I think Voitish may actually be the person we see as Dan Schiffbauer motioned for Max Voitish to head to the dugout and change his equipment. So with this break, that gives us a chance, and I've lined up for us, Bill, and you're going to enjoy this. We're going to call this South Union Township Trivia.
Okay.
Now, it's a mix of baseball trivia and local trivia. We're going to start with some baseball trivia for anyone who is joining us at home as Voitish comes out. Voitish wears number 10 for the A's, and he did start this game as the catcher. He's going to loosen here, and it looks like Robert Newman is going to step out and offer to catch for him. That's some nice sportsmanship there as the opposing skipper going to serve as your warm-up catcher. So the Athletics at the major league level, they have played in several different cities. They're playing in Sacramento right now, and of course the intention is that they will eventually relocate to Las Vegas. And if anyone is listening to this and you have not seen the plans for the ballpark in Las Vegas, you need to look that up as soon as this game is over, because it is going to be one of the modern wonders of the world, I suspect, if they build it the way I have seen it illustrated. I can't imagine how the finished product will look. Just seeing the illustration of it looks like something out of a science fiction magazine. But in any case, of course, the A's had played in Oakland for many years. They started in Philadelphia. But between being in Philadelphia and playing in Oakland, they spent 12 years playing in a different city. And our first trivia question is, without using your smart device to look it up, what is that middle stop between Philadelphia and Oakland? The Athletics spent 12 years there, and I will give you a hint. It is a city that does now have a Major League Baseball team, obviously under a different name. So it is a city that does presently have a Major League Baseball club, but the Athletics played there for 12 years in the late 50s and 60s, and we'll share that answer with you in a few minutes. Some of you who are baseball historians or were alive during that time period, you may very well know the answer. So Voitish is ready to get started now. He's loosened up, and here's his first pitch, and the backside runner is going to go as this one is fouled off, so Piclamini will have to drift back to first base. Connor Boscovich, who we know has some real power, right-handed bat to face the righty Voitish. Voitish going to take a look at the runners. Here's the throw. Boscovich going to give this one a ride into right center, and it gets down. One run will score, and the backside runner from first base, Piclamini, he's going to make it to third, and Boscovich is in with a double. And he picks up the RBI as well. Second RBI on the night for Connor Boscovich, who is now 1 for 2. Piclamini and Boscovich both taking healthy leads. First pitch here going to be struck well by Isaac Hartline, and that one drops into left center. One run will score. Hartline safely to second. Boscovich going to trot around, and he'll score. So a 2 RBI double for Isaac Hartline. Not a bad day at the plate for him so far. He's 2 for 2. First pitch of the new at bat to get Liam Cavanaugh started. Oh, check that. My apologies. This is Cody Kryzak, the left-handed bat. Kryzak last time through reached on a single, was thrown out trying to stretch that into a double. Voidish going to check on the runner. Now he'll come home. This one is going to be high and away. Hartline also taking a healthy lead off his second. Pitch on the way from Voidish. This one is going to hit Kryzak. And that's our first hit by pitch situation tonight.
Yes, the batter, you don't want to have that happen. That was coincidentally ball 4 as well. Never want to take a hit by pitch on ball 4.
Right. That one hit him in the arm or hand. Liam Kavanaugh will bat with 2 on. 10-0 your score, top of the second inning. Kavanaugh last time through, he was busy. He drew a walk, stole 2 bases, and scored a run.
Fantasy baseball, he's putting up some numbers.
Yes, he is.
Filling all the categories.
He waves at this one and misses. Yeah, I think regardless of what scoring format you use, he's done well for you tonight. And that's going to be a strikeout as Kavanaugh waves at that one and misses. So 1 down here in the top of the second inning. We'll see now the 8th hitter, Simon Zyla. Zyla last time through drew a walk, stole a base, scored a run. Still have a handful of people out on the lake fishing. From where we're at, I can see at least 5 of them out there. This pitch is going to miss outside, 1-0. So we're back to our trivia question. Where did the Athletics play between being located in Philadelphia and Oakland? Zyla will check the lead runner, and now he'll threaten to throw there, and the lead runner comes back. We mentioned the mascot, Mr. Harry Elefante, did not come into play until the A's were in Oakland. This one's in for a strike against Zyla. But the correct answer to that question is Kansas City. They were the Kansas City Athletics for 12 years. Pitch on the way from Voidish. This one's in for a strike. Voidish doing pretty well in relief of Holt. Takes a look at both runners. And this one is going to be swung on and missed, and that's a strikeout. So Voidish has struck out back-to-back Phillies. And now we'll see Gavin Brashear. Brashear dropped in a 2 RBI double last time through, and he's got 2 runners on this time, too. Voidish with the first pitch here. This one's going to be outside, and the lead runner is going to move up a station. He's up to third. This one going to be hit on the ground. Well played by Voidish, who takes his time and casually flips on to first base and retires the batter there. So we've played 1.5 here at Hutchison Park. Your score 10-0 on the South Union Township Sports Network. 1-3 on the putout to bring the top of the second to a conclusion. We want to thank our sponsors tonight. Smith Lewis Chess CPAs in Uniontown, Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law, the Sprouse Insurance Group and Agent David Hughes, SWGI Specialist, now a part of U.S. Digestive Health, the UPMC Rehabilitation Institute and physical therapist Jim Burns, United Bank, and the South Union Township Supervisors Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott. We're just outside of Hopwood, Pennsylvania, home to about 2,000 people in the heart of Fayette County. Happy Teacher's Day to anyone who's listening from Colombia, Mexico, or South Korea. Teacher's Day in those countries. So if you are by chance maybe joining us from Bogota or Bucaramanga, Mexico City, hopefully you took a gift to your teacher today. Acapulco. Happy Teachers Day to everybody in Colombia, Mexico, and South Korea. The A's are back at the plate here in the bottom of the second inning. We'll see the fourth batter in their lineup get us started. This is Liam Turacek. Turacek steps in, right-handed batter's box. A's looking to get something going here against Cody Kryzak. Kryzak, left-handed arm, going to pitch against the righty. Pitch on the way. This one is going to be fouled off to the right. Last time through, the A's had a 1-2-3 inning. And due up for the A's following Turacek will be Curry and Cameron Hayden. Pitch on the way from Kryzak now. And this one's going to be hit up over the keystone and played there by the shortstop. Very well done. Ball tossed back to Kryzak. Good work ranging over for the Phillies' number 15, Isaac Hartline, putting a glove on that. Again, it's a very sunny day, although thankfully for most of the players, sans the catcher and batter, the sun is not directly in your eyes unless you have to turn. The sun is currently hanging over right field. Christian Curry at the plate. Curry will check on that one. Called ball, 1-0. Kryzak so far has not allowed a base runner. 1-0 is going to go 2-0. Speaking of holidays, as 2-0 pitch comes in, this one's inside 3-0. It's also Mother's Day today in Paraguay. So if you're joining us from Asuncion, hopefully you sent your mother a Mother's Day card. I think we've had international listeners before. I feel like we've certainly had listeners from other states. I know that.
Yes.
This one's going to miss, and Curry is going to draw a 4-pitch walk.
First base runner for the A's tonight.
Want to start somewhere.
You got to start chipping away.
Now we'll see Cameron Hayden. Left-handed bat, Cameron Hayden, ready to go to face the lefty Kryzak. First one, he's going to take a strike, goes down 0-1. Cameron Hayden, a student at A.J. McMullen Middle School in Markleysburg, Pennsylvania. That's Henry Clay Township. Kryzak going to check the runner. Now comes home with the pitch. This one's fouled back, and Curry was going to take off there, but he'll be forced to retreat to first, and Hayden goes down 0-2. Of course, A.J. McMullen, and its final school year. Building is to be shuttered at the conclusion of this school year. So Cameron Hayden can say at least he got to have 1 year there. This one is going to be taken for a strike. That's a strikeout. Curry down to second base safely. And so the A's have a runner in scoring position. Good work there by Christian Curry. And that's going to bring up another student from A.J. McMullen Middle School, 2 in a row. Vanden Bicker at the plate. He's going to take ball 1, 1-0. Vanden playing center field tonight. Pitcher going to check on the runner. Curry just a few steps off second. This one going to be also up high, so good eyes here for Van Bicker. Vanden loves this time of year. Tomorrow will be activities day. We'll get some kickball going if weather permits, maybe some pin guard. This is it for a strike, and Curry is going to be thrown out trying to swipe third base. So Vanden is going to pick up where he left off in the third inning. That's going to do it for inning number 2 as Christian Curry is caught stealing as he moves over to third base, and the throw beats him by just about a step. We'll move into the third inning now, and we're back to the top of the order for the Phillies when they return to the plate. If you're watching this game on BreezeLine or Armstrong Cable, we'd like to let you know that South Union Township Sports Network games and programs are now available live online. It's easy to find. Just log on to youtube.com and search South Union Television or follow the South Union Township Sports Network on Facebook for program updates. Facebook.com/South Union TV. Subscribe for notifications when we go live. Joshua Scully and Bill Dice here with you tonight on a beautiful Thursday. Temperature still just about 80 degrees as we have crossed into the 6 p.m. hour, Eastern Standard Time. I think we're going to bring up our next South Union Township trivia question. This is a really good one. You probably have seen a headline online or in the local newspaper that the Pittsburgh Pirates' all-time record is about to dip below 500.
Well, you know, Josh, they've had about 25 years of misery for us Pirate fans, so
futility.
That's not hard to believe, I guess.
Probably will happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks if the team continues to play the way they have over the course of the last month. Just a matter of games. But here's our trivia question. Our second trivia question for this game does concern the Pittsburgh Pirates. By the way, the Pirates and Rangers are up next, 12U Little League. Which team in Pittsburgh Pirates history have they beaten the most? And I'll give you a hint. It's also the team they have lost to the most. So the team they have beaten the most is the team they have lost to the most. And the Pirates do have a winning percentage of over 500 against this team. They have beaten this team 36 more times than they have lost to them. So go ahead and think about that. The team the Pittsburgh Pirates have beaten the most in their long history, which at this point now spans nearly 140 years. It's hard to believe the American Civil War, even the Mexican-American War, was well within living memory when the Pittsburgh Pirates, the original team, of course not using that moniker just yet, but the team that would become the Pirates had begun their existence. Voitish back on the mound. Here's the pitch. This one going to be hit on the ground, foul. Hot off the bat there of the leadoff bat, Hunter Moore. So far, Moore 1 for 1. Drew a walk, stole a base, scored 2 runs. Picked up a single last time through. 0-1, going to be hit on the ground toward his coach, who nearly grabbed that one. Gentleman I work with, Bill, at Penn State Fayette, would have just said, we're going to score that as E10. O2 pitch on the way. He's going to miss outside. 1-2. Phillies and A's in action tonight. The Phillies sponsor, Ford of Uniontown. Athletic sponsor is Sproul's Insurance Group. 1-2 pitch, going to miss. 2-2. Those two kind of go hand in hand, Bill. Go buy yourself a new Ford, then call Sproul's Insurance Group to get your car insurance.
Yes, I think maybe that's why they're set up that way.
Pretty neat. This one is well hit into center field, and it's going to get down into right center. And on the move around first base is Moore. Moore will easily have 2. Throw's going to get away, and Moore is going to think about it, then decide not to advance. And so Moore picks up the double. Okay, Bobby Newman. Bobby Newman, who we are pretty sure we saw, I believe it was a June game. It was late in the evening. I'm pretty sure I have seen him, we have seen him, hit for the cycle. He's got a single and a double already today. He's 2 for 2. Stolen base, RBI, and a run. And this one is smoked into center field. And now he needs 3 if we're going to keep the cycle chase alive. Newman around second. He's going to hold there. And he's going to settle for double number 2. And he picks up another RBI.
And Josh, he definitely has the over the fence home run power. I saw him in warm-ups hit one bounced into the leg.
Yeah, that would be cool to see, although I'm not sure how the fishermen down there would feel about that. There's definitely still a couple.
Have to give him a heads up, that's all.
Piclamini going to look at the first one here, skip across the plate, 1-0. Newman driving in a run will make the score 11-2. 2-0 in favor of the Phillies. Newman halfway to third base on the lead. This one is going to be hit into the ground by Piclamini. Voitish stays with it, throws on to Cam Hayden, and the out is recorded there. Piclamini down on the ground out, 1-3.
Nice play there by Voitish, filling his position very well.
Yeah. Stayed with that one, knocked it down, didn't panic. Connor Boscovich now will step up. Runner on third base in the form of Bobby Newman III. Pitch from Voitish. Boscovich will take outside for a ball, 1-0. Was working Bill about a week ago, give or take. 1-0 pitch coming from Voitish. And now he'll kick and deal. Here's the pitch. This one also going to be outside. College softball game. Young lady at the plate took a big cut. Swinging strike, lost her grip on the bat. And the bat went flying into the stands. This one is well hit into left field, and Boscovich is going to easily have one here. Good job by the A's getting after that one quickly. A run does score. Will give Boscovich the RBI. RBI single, 12-0. But the public address announcer prior to that game had said the statement that you often hear. Here's the first pitch of the new at-bat, fouled back at the plate now, following Boscovich in the batting order, the number 5 hitter, Isaac Hartline. The warning statement you'd expect to hear: please keep your eyes on the action at all times. Equipment and baseballs may leave the field of play, etc. Obviously, that's a concern at all levels of the game. This one is hit very hard past a diving number 6 for the A's. Just missing that one was Garrett Holt, who's now at second base, and in at second is going to be Hartline.
Yeah, that ball was smoked there, Josh. You know, that's one is where I'm talking about not getting the bad hops, but the ball plays very fast off the turf. And that one just was smoked in the right field.
Very good piece of hitting. Kryzak now at the plate. Left-handed bat to face the righty Voitish. Runners on second and third, first pitch of ball. In any case, after that bat left the field, before the next game, the public address statement had changed to specifically mention bats. This one upstairs and away. Thankfully, no one hurt when that happened.
Yes,
2-0.
Josh, I remember the movie Problem Child back in the early 90s. You remember that movie?
I have seen it. It's been a very, very long time. 2-1.
Much like the situation you're talking about. The kid let go of the bat and actually went through somebody's windshield.
Please, not me. I actually parked so that I backed into my spot. This one on the ground, and a diving Holt just misses it. This is going to score a pair. And so for Kryzak, who remains perfect today, picks up 2 RBIs on that single. Another good piece of hitting there. Following Kryzak will be Liam Cavanaugh. He's at the plate, runner on first. But, yeah, I've seen a few close calls here. This one going to miss outside, and Kryzak is going to move down to second base on the pitch that gets away. And, of course, if you attend a Washington Wild Things game, any time a ball leaves the field of play, they play a pre-recorded bit. This one is going to miss up high. That is the sound of breaking glass, and the ad is for a local glass replacement shop. Yes. Your Safelite-esque type of business in the Washington area. This one inside. Voitish here working against Liam Cavanaugh. Runner takes a lead off second. This one's going to skip across the plate. Downstairs. The Phillies have been very, very good at the plate. That's to say the least. So far in this game, good crowd on hand tonight. This one going to miss inside, and walk issued to Liam Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh has now walked twice today. And we'll see number 10, Simon Zyla. And we're going to have timeout taken as the A's head coach Dan Schiffbauer steps out to talk to Voitish. Max Voitish appears that he will stay in the game as he talks to his coach. Let's go back to our trivia. Bill, any guesses on the team?
I'm going to guess the Chicago Cubs.
That is correct.
All right.
Yes, the Chicago Cubs.
And I knew the Kansas City trivia question, too, so I'm 2 for 2.
Oh, sorry, Bill. I forgot to ask you about that one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I didn't want to ruin it for anybody at home. I might be trying to call in with their answer, text us their answer.
Yeah, the Chicago Cubs. Pitch on the way here from Voitish, going to be taken outside. The Pirates have beaten the Cubs 1,315 times. This includes postseason play. Voitish going to check the runners. Now he'll offer again. This one is going to be a called strike. The Cubs have beat the Pirates 1,279 times.
Now, Josh, I know you're a big Pirates fan. How many of those games have you watched?
You know what, Bill? Probably a pretty good number of them, I would imagine. Pitch going to get away here, and both runners will move up a station. Of course, I will share this, too. I hope I don't hurt anyone's feelings. The Cubs are actually my least favorite team.
Ooh. Better not tell Manny that. That's the team he's playing for.
Oh, really?
he is a Cub.
This one's going to miss outside. Yeah, I don't care much for the Chicago Cubs. I was absolutely heartbroken when the Pirates lost about 10 years ago that wild card game to the Cubs in Pittsburgh. This one is fouled off. That was a tough game to watch. Jake Arrieta versus Garrett Cole. Had actually gone to the wild card game the year before that when the Pirates took on the Giants, and boy, that was a great atmosphere to be a part of. Unfortunately, that game did not go very well for the Pirates. That was Madison Bumgarner versus Edinson Volquez. This one is going to hit the batter, and that will load the bases.
Another 3-ball hit by pitch.
Yeah, you don't see those too often.
Yeah, you don't want to take one of those. I'll have a little bit of an allergy attack in here.
It's that time of year. I actually forgot to take my allergy medicine today, so I'm hoping that does not happen to me. This one is going to miss. Called a ball, 1-0. At the plate right now, the number 9 hitter, Gavin Brashear. Brashear is 1 for 2. Couple of RBIs and a double today.
Now, Josh, we mentioned fantasy baseball earlier in the broadcast. How's your team doing so far this year?
You know what, Bill? I do several fantasy baseball leagues. I do 2, we'll say I'm in 2 competitive leagues.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to phrase that. Pitch coming from Voitish. This one hit on the ground, and that one is going to be called fair, apparently. So a run will score. I did not see a definite signal, but as it stands, that's an RBI single.
Yeah, I was waiting to see a call as well.
So I suppose that call is going to stay. This one's hit on the ground by Hunter Moore, and the flip is going to get him at first base, and that's going to do it for the top of the third. Another strong inning, to say the least, for the Phillies, who again send their entire lineup +1 to the plate that time. But in any case, Bill, I'm in 2. I'm very middle of the road in 1. And in the other, I personally think my team is excellent. Very, very good. But to this point in the season, I also have the highest points against by far.
Yeah,
and there's not a whole lot you can do about that. So right now, my record is 3-4. My team often scores quite a few points, but, you know, in fantasy sports, you can't really do much to limit your opponent, sans giving them bad advice.
Right, there's not much defense.
Right. And so I've just had bad luck.
And, you know, if this was a marathon, this would be the first mile of the marathon in the fantasy baseball season. So you have a long way to go.
Yes. It is a long season.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the reason I got out of fantasy baseball this season. It was just too long for me to keep my interest.
Yeah, it is hard to believe. We're truly just halfway through May. And baseball, of course, sans the postseason. If your fantasy league has something like that, we have a new pitcher, by the way. Gavin Brashear will take over on the mound for the Phillies. But the season, of course, can go into
we
September.
Got a new catcher too there, Josh.
We'll see if we can get the number for him. Brashear continuing to loosen. The umpires are ready to move on. And unfortunately, Bill, I cannot quite ID. We'll see.
Maybe we'll get a
one here. Looks like a single-digit number behind the plate now. I'm going to take a guess and say that is Will Piclamini.
That's a good guess.
Looks like Will.
Is he a 1 or a 7?
He is a 9.
9. Didn't really look like a 9, though. I didn't think.
They have 3 single-digit uniforms.
Okay, let's see if we can
so
process elimination.
One of them is not here. First pitch is going to miss. This is Vanden Bicker back at the plate. One of them's a 7, who had been the pitcher, Cody Kryzak.
Yeah, he looks like he's on 3rd.
Yep, I think that's him on 3rd. And then Will Piclamini is 9.
All right, so I guess you're right.
That's who we're thinking
most likely.
That's who is most likely behind there, Cody.
Unless they got a new jersey.
Right, which we've seen happen before. Vanden's going to wave at this one and miss. Vanden Bicker was at the plate the previous inning. He's going to take a strike here. He was at the plate the previous inning when Curry was caught stealing. Brashear will face Bicker, who has just struck out. And following him will be Griffin Zavachin. Zavachin wears number 17.
Yeah, Josh, I saw Griffin today down at the 5th grade track and field meet. Franklin student ran very well today.
Oh, great. Yeah, that was track and field day. You'd mentioned that. My favorite part of track and field day, Bill, is you're near the end of the school year when it's track and field day. This one hit on the ground to short. And the throw is on, and just in time on a skip. Good pluck there for the Phillies, finding that one on the turf, number 14, Hunter Moore.
Yeah, nice play there by Moore at first.
So now we'll see Isaiah Nicholas. Nicholas wears number 1 for the A's. He'll face Brashear. First pitch to him is going to be down low. Ball 1-0. 6-3 on that previous putout. This one is in for a strike.
Looked like a little off-speed pitcher, Josh.
It did. And this one's waved at by Nicholas and missed, so now he is behind in the count. 16-0, your score in favor of the Phillies, bottom of inning number 3. This pitch is going to be fouled back by Nicholas. We want to thank our team sponsors again, Ford of Uniontown, the Sprouse Insurance Group, Smith Lewis Chess CPAs, our broadcast sponsor, Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law, the Sprouse Insurance Group, and Agent David Hughes. This one going to be swung on and missed by Nicholas, and he's down on strikes, and that's going to do it for the A's here in this frame. 16-0 remains your score. We have played 3 complete. We will travel now into inning number 4. The Phillies will be returning to the plate, and I believe due up is Bobby Newman. We also want to thank the Sprouse Insurance Group and Agent David Hughes, SWGI Specialist, now a part of U.S. Digestive Health, the UPMC Rehabilitation Institute, and physical therapist Jim Burns, United Bank, South Union Township Supervisors Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott. beautiful Thursday evening at Hutchison Park. I'm going to give some birthday shout-outs, just in case any of these folks are listening tonight. In the baseball world, happy birthday to George Brett, longtime Kansas City Royal.
I was going to say, there's your Kansas City Royal.
Yeah. Happy birthday to John Smoltz. Happy birthday, you'll know this one, Bill. Happy birthday to Desmond Howard,
Desmond
kick
Howard,
return
Heisman Trophy
specialist.
winner.
Yeah.
Now, Josh, now we were talking about, the Kansas City. It's all-time favorite Kansas City Royal.
Mine is Mike Sweeney. Do you remember Mike Sweeney?
I do remember Mike Sweeney. Catcher?
He did some catching,
Some
played
DH
first
maybe?
base, designated hitter, yeah.
My all-time favorite is Brett Saberhagen.
Okay.
Little sidearm delivery.
I remember him, at least for a time, was with the Red Sox, too.
Yes.
I'm remembering that correctly.
Yes, I believe he bounced around a little bit after Kansas City, but that's where he got his start, I believe.
Kansas City Royals were one of my favorite teams when I was a kid. Actually, the first time where I went to Pittsburgh and attended an entire series of games where I bought tickets to all the games and I stayed at a hotel right near the park was the Pittsburgh Pirates and Kansas City Royals.
Oh, wow. What year was that?
I'm going to guess that was 2009 or 2010.
Okay.
I stayed at the Renaissance Hotel,
Okay.
the creme de la creme. The Renaissance Hotel is probably familiar to a lot of you as Bobby Newman stands in to face Voitish in the top of the fourth. This one's going to miss outside. If you're in PNC Park and you look right across the river, the Renaissance Hotel is the one that appears to be missing the middle of the building.
Oh, yes.
The middle of the building is cut out because when that hotel was originally built, it was obviously in a time before air conditioning. This one's going to miss away. That allowed the interior rooms to receive some air movement. Bobby Newman tonight, 3 for 3, 2 doubles. Going to take a strike.
Voitić working his third inning of action.
Yeah, he's done a good job tonight. Newman has got 2 RBIs to his credit. Scored a couple of runs, stole a base, fouls this one back.
We got any fishermen out there still, Josh?
There is one. There's one just across center field here.
Yes, blocking. I'm blocked by the sign.
The folks who were fishing on the other side of the lake appear to have gone home. Voitish working against Newman. Here's the pitch. Newman's going to jump out of the way of this one. It's inside. So the dimensions here at this field, 212 down the left field line, and I'm going to guess that dead-away center is probably no deeper than that. Not much deeper. Newman's going to give this one a ride into center, and it dies in the grass. Newman's going to have one base this time. Takes a big turn just to see what happens, and then saunters back to first base. So Newman is now 4 for 4. Obviously, perfect batting average and on-base percentage for him tonight, and a pretty good slugging percentage, and now he's going to steal a base as Will Piclamini stands in. Piclamini tonight, 1 for 2. Drew a walk, hit a double. Now working as the catcher. Newman going to take off again here as this ball gets away from the backstop. Catching right now for the A's is Christian Curry. Newman now just one station away. Wave and a miss here from Piclamini. I was working one time, Bill, a college baseball game, and I was not in charge or trying to push any trivia during this broadcast. Swing and a miss here from Piclamini. And the gentleman I was working with did have a piece of trivia he wanted to share. He said, and I will never remember them all, but for those of you listening at home, this might be fun to think about. Pitch here going to be outside. Piclamini will step away. Full count. He said there were 13 ways you could score from third base. 13 different circumstances that would allow you to score from third. This one is hit hard, and it finds its way through second and short. Bobby Newman will trot home. Piccolomini going to hold up at first base, and he's got an RBI single. Newman will score another run for the Phillies. And now Boscovich will step in. And the A's look like they may be having a conference with the infield here. Boydus looks like he will be done for the day. And we're going to see a new pitcher for the A's. And I think this is number 11. It is number 11. So coming into pitch now will be Jacob Hudak. Here's a fun piece of trivia, Bill, that's not necessarily akin to the previous trivia questions, but I once performed a song with Jacob Hudak's father. We did a cover over the loudspeaker at school with Mr. Hudak playing the piano in the background of Barry Manilow's Copacabana.
Oh, yes. That's a classic.
Yes. So Jacob Hudak's going to loosen here, and he's going to face Boscovich in just a minute.
So, Josh, all-time favorite Oakland Athletic?
That's a good question. I have to think about that one for a moment. I want to say Johnny Damon, but I feel like I'm forgetting somebody that I don't want to forget about. You know what? I'm going to say Jose Canseco.
Me too.
Yes. You can't not pick him. When he published his first book in the wake of the steroid scandal in Major League Baseball, he published a book called Juiced.
Juiced. Yes,
Yeah.
I have it.
I stood in front of the Uniontown Mall bookstore prior to the mall opening so I could get my copy. I was that excited to buy it.
Was there a wait to get it?
I don't remember. I don't think there was.
I can't imagine people being lined up to say, man, they only got 10 copies. I got to make sure I get my copy. But I do have the book as well. And that is my favorite all-time Oakland A's because that was the first ever baseball card I got.
Really?
1987 Flair. Jose Canseco.
Jose Canseco.
Then, of course, you had the whole incident with the Texas Rangers of the ball hitting off the head and going over the fence. That was a classic blooper.
Yeah, Jose, boy, he had a wild career. This one is well hit by Boscovich. He's looking like Jose. This one into center. It's going to get down. Vanden Bickar is going to scoop it up and throw it in. A run will score. Boscovich in with a double. That one was sky high.
He gave that one a ride.
Hudak will take a look at the runner. Isaac Hartline at the plate now. This one's going to skip in. A couple of clouds have finally found their way over top of the field here at Hutchison, and we have some shade everywhere now. Still some sun peeking through other places. Beautiful day today, 18-0 in favor of the Phillies here. This one is going to spin Hartline around in the batter's box. Yeah, when I read that book, and I obviously haven't read it in many years, I was really pleased when I read, obviously, Jose did some name dropping. Pitch on the way here, going to miss outside. Hartline leaves it out there. Boscovich with a healthy lead gives us 2 thumbs up and now makes his way back to second. I was really pleased when Canseco said someone who did not, to his knowledge, use any type of enhancement. Pitch on the way here is going to be swung on by Hartline. He misses this one. Was Frank Thomas.
The big hurt.
The big hurt. And I was glad for that because I thought Frank Thomas, he just struck me as the kind of man who did not need any sort of steroid. He was just a Hulk. And this one swung on and missed by Hartline.
Yeah, Frank Thomas was just a big dude, man.
Yeah, he was, and he could
just
really
enormous.
hit the baseball.
I'm sure you remember the 1994 Home Run Derby at Three River Stadium.
I do. In fact, I want to say, and I could be misremembering this part of it, that one's fouled back. That might be the earliest home run derby that I have a memory of. My father and I were yearly, annual viewers of the home run derby. We used to watch it. It was an event in our house. We would, with my mother and sister, you throw $1 or $2 in the hat and you pick your guy, and if you win, you put that towards your lunch money when the school year rolls around in August. This one's fouled back by Hartline. But those were the good old days, as time went on, and I still periodically will check out the home run derby. But that era just had like the last great era of sluggers.
Yeah, I believe he put a couple in the upper deck.
Yeah, he had that kind of power. That was for sure. He reminded me a lot, although I think Frank Thomas's Hartline draws the walk. This player reminded me a great deal of Frank Thomas. Ryan Howard for the Phillies.
Yes.
Had just that kind of size. He was just a big person, and he could really hit the baseball. Liam Kavanaugh, no, check that, I apologize. Cody Kryzak at the plate, left-handed bat. Started this game as the pitcher for the Phillies. He's going to take a strike here from Hudak. Yeah, 90s baseball, a lot of fun. Early 90s, of course, were very, very exciting with the Pirates being really good out of the gate in that decade. Swung on here by Kryzak. He's going to miss that one. Strike called. Pirates had a couple other good years. They were pretty good in 97. And the 99 Pirates team was one of my favorite Pirates team of all time.
All right, Josh, let's continue this game.
This one down low.
All-time favorite Philly.
I've got a pretty good answer, and it was someone who I actually got to see play in person multiple times when the Phillies came to Pittsburgh. As Hudak checks the runners, now he'll offer to Kryzak, and this one is going to miss outside. So Kryzak has got the count in his favor right now. Kurt Schilling. I'm going to say Kurt Schilling, yeah.
That's a good choice.
Always really liked him.
Yeah, Kurt Schilling, he's a heck of a pitcher.
Yeah, he had a long career. This one is fouled back by Kryzak. So now the count will go full. Phillies lead by 18. Yeah, he was really good. I enjoyed him a great deal. The Phillies, unfortunately, as this pitch is going to be taken for a ball, and I believe that's a walk. No, I'll say that's full count
as well.
Yeah, I had 3
before that pitch.
But now the count will go full.
Yeah, I'll say it's full now.
Phillies are one of those teams that obviously you grow up as a Pirates fan. You don't especially care for the Phillies. This one's going to be outside, and now Kryzak will get the walk. So now we'll see Liam Kavanaugh. And I feel like that's true for all Philadelphia teams because I'm not especially partial to the Eagles or the Flyers. And if Pittsburgh had a basketball team, I probably wouldn't like the Sixers either.
So, Josh, who would you say of the 3, who's the biggest rival for Pittsburgh, would you say?
As Hudak prepares to face down Kavanaugh with the bases loaded, full of Phillies here. This is in for a strike. Good start here by Hudak. I suppose Major League Baseball wants it to be the Reds or the Phillies.
No. Let me rephrase my question. Maybe that was a confusing question. Of the 3 major sports franchises.
Oh, okay. Who is the biggest rival, period, or the biggest?
Pittsburgh.
To Pittsburgh. Among any team?
Among
Philadelphia
teams.
teams. I think the Flyers.
I would say so as well, and I'm not even a hockey guy. But that just seems like the biggest rival. The Eagles are in a different conference.
Right.
so you can't say them.
Yeah, the Penguins see a lot of the Flyers.
But that seems like the most heated.
Right. I definitely agree with that. Penguins and Flyers.
So back to the all-time favorite Philly. I would say mine's probably Jimmy Rollins.
I like Jimmy Rollins.
He's a nice five-tool player.
Yep. And he was very good, especially early in his career. Boy, not too many people could move like he did. This one is swung on and missed. And that's going to be strike 3, and down on strikes is Cavanaugh. You know who I should have said was my favorite Philly, just to be funny?
The Fanatic.
Well, I should have said Andrew McCutchen.
The Philly Fanatic. I thought that's where you were going. But McCutchen, yeah.
Yeah, he spent a couple years with the Phillies. Simon Zyla at the plate now. Base is still loaded.
Well, they are loaded. I didn't see the runner down here at first. Man, I got to update my base runner chart.
This one outside, so a ball to start. Number 10, Simon Zyla.
I got one down. You got the same?
Yes, one out.
Base is loaded.
And this one, did it hit him? Nope, Zyla says it didn't hit me. So they'll call that just a ball.
And that's when you know you got a hitter at the plate. So now I want a couple more pitches.
Right? This is in for a strike. Zyla today has walked. He's been hit by a pitch. He's struck out. He's stolen the base. He's scored a run.
You know, Josh, you mentioned the Chicago Cubs earlier, and I said how that's the team Manny's playing on this year for Coach Pitch. Well, that just happens to be one of Manny's favorite movies, too, Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah, I do like that movie.
So he watches it quite a bit. So he was very, very thrilled to be on the Cubs for his Coach Pitch season.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I actually just caught that on TV at the very end of last summer, right before the school year started. Ended up virtually watching the entire movie. This one is going to be hit in the air into right field. And will it get down? It will. It lands in right center. It will score 1, possibly 2. And Zyla's going to hold it at second. So a 2 RBI double for Simon Zyla. And now we'll see Gavin Brashear. If you're watching this game on BreezeLine or Armstrong Cable, we'd like to let you know that South Union Township Sports Network games and programs are now available live online. It's easy to find. Just log on to youtube.com. Here's the first pitch from Hudak to Brashear. This one is going to miss inside. Search South Union Television or follow the South Union Township Sports Network on Facebook for program updates, facebook.com/South Union TV. Subscribe for notifications when we go live. Runners on second and third for the Phillies. Jacob Hudak pitching, third pitcher for the A's today. A's started off with Garrett Holt on the mound, and then we saw a couple of innings out of Max Voitish, who did a pretty good job. And now Jacob Hudak. Pitch on the way. This one is going to be hit foul. Very close. Nearly stayed fair.
We've had a couple get down to the third base line just inside the bag tonight. Sun's finally gone down, huh, Josh?
Yes. Sun has sort of dipped behind some tree cover here, so.
Probably feels pretty nice.
Yeah, it does feel pretty good out here right now. Cooling off just a little bit. This one going to miss outside. Of course, Bill, it's almost time for what has become the annual Uniontown Area School District 8th grade field trip to Washington, D.C. That'll be on Monday. And
yes, I know you're looking forward to that. You can't wait to go experience it with your students.
This one's going to be popped up, foul. Well, it's going to be a beautiful day in Washington on Monday. 74 and sunny. So it won't be too hot. Last year was quite warm in Washington, D.C. We'll board the buses that day about 6:15 a.m. I'll be at the school around 5:45 to start the checking in process. And third pitch strike is dropped, thrown on to first, and a little collision down here at first base. And they're going to call the base runner safe. So although technically a strikeout, Gavin Brashear able to reach. And we're back to the top of the order.
That's a nice catch there by the first baseman, Josh.
Yeah, in traffic, too, with the base runner coming right at him. Hunter Moore at the plate. Bases again loaded. Full of Phillies. This one is going to be hit towards some vehicles.
Oh.
And somebody's pickup, unfortunately, is going to wear that one.
I think it was a good thing it was there. That would have been your vehicle,
yes.
It looks like.
Yes.
At least it didn't get a window.
Thank goodness.
Take one to the body. Take one to the body instead of the glass.
Yeah, I think I'm going to move my Jeep after this game. That was a close call.
You just got to take the top off, Josh, and try to catch it in the top.
I've done that before, actually. I did that once last season. I think I might just move it a little further out, maybe. All right, Hudak with the bases loaded. Working on the leadoff bat, Hunter Moore. Moore going to hit this one on the ground, and it's going to sneak through into left field, and a run will score. Would have been a tough play. And they're discussing right now if that should bring the inning to a conclusion, and I believe it should. That's 6 runs this inning. The Phillies came in with 16 runs prior to the start of this inning. And apparently
they're going to play on. Yeah,
so
I have 21 as well.
Okay.
But sometimes I can fall asleep.
I gave the Phillies an extra run at some point in time then. 21-0.
3 touchdown lead.
Bobby Newman. Newman 4 for 4 today. 2 doubles. 2 RBI. 2 stolen bases.
We got some ducks on the pond here for Newman.
Yeah. Definitely some ducks on the pond. Some continued conversation about the score happening on the field. The Phillies, of course, the major league level.
Oh, we got the scoreboard on here now, Josh.
Yeah.
I just realized.
I didn't see it, but I saw it being controlled. I saw the control pack out. Hudak will come set. Bases full of Phillies. Here's the pitch to Newman up over his head. He ducks down out of the way. Takes ball 1. But the Phillies at the major league level in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Largest city in Pennsylvania. Hudak, 1-0 pitch on the way. This one is going to hit the plate and then pop up in the air. 2-0.
Yeah, Philadelphia, the whole reason the PIAA is a 6A. 6 classifications. If you take away Philadelphia, we wouldn't. That's like the majority of the 6A schools.
Philadelphia is a rapidly growing area as well. Really, here's the 2-0 from Hudak. This one's going to miss outside and low, 3-0. Pennsylvania as a state continues to gain people every year, and that's largely due to the growth of the area around Philadelphia. The metropolitan area there still growing fast enough to account for losses elsewhere in the state. This one is hit on a line to center, and it's gone and into Lake Hutch. A grand slam for Bobby Newman. Look out. Ducks on the pond coming around to score. And I think a duck on the pond has that baseball. Or maybe a fisherman. Somebody does a grand slam to bring this half inning to a conclusion. Well, now, Bill, if we want to know what score it is, I'm going to have to get my calculator out. We're traveling now into the bottom of the frame, bottom four, and the A's return to the plate when we come back on the South Union Township Sports Network, 25-0, now in favor of the Phillies. We want to thank our sponsors tonight, Smith Lewis Chess CPAs in Uniontown, Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law, the Sprouse Insurance Group, and Agent David Hughes, SWGI Specialist, now a part of U.S. Digestive Health, the UPMC Rehabilitation Institute, and physical therapist Jim Burns, United Bank, and the South Union Township Supervisors Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott. We do want to thank the supervisors. This network is a cooperative venture between the supervisors, Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott, along with Armstrong and Breezeline Cable and our friends at CUTV, including Gary Smith. I had a chance to work with Gary Smith. I believe that would have been November of 2024 on CUTV, which was a pretty cool experience.
Speaking of California Penn West, just saw today Calvin Winfrey III is going to be attending there in the fall.
Really?
Yes.
So he'll get to play.
He's going to be playing basketball.
We're going to take a brief pause here for just a second because my field glasses have just been delivered to the park.
Special delivery.
Welcome back to the South Union Township Sports Network, 25-0, bottom four. A's return to the plate. Silas Mitchell at the plate. He's going to take a ball down low.
Another A.J. McMullen.
Yeah, 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 of the last A's batters, including Silas Mitchell, A.J. McMullen middle school students. This one swung on and missed. Count will go 1-1. Brashear continues to work from the pitcher's mound for the Phillies, and the sun, after all, is going to make another appearance here as the clouds part, and the sun is just over the tree cover in right field. Some very long shadows now coming in from right. Bobby Newman, Bill, if I'm correct, he hit that home run on a 3-0 pitch.
I believe so.
That was a green light with the bases loaded. This one's going to miss away, so Mitchell has worked the count into a favorable situation for himself. He's going to be followed by the top of the order. And this one is in for a strike, so we'll go full count. Newman hit that home run just over center field. There are some individuals seated out there. That one was very close to them. This one's way upstairs, and Mitchell will work the walk. So the A's back to the top of the order. Jacob Hudak, who was a strikeout victim back in the first inning, will stand in now. And they're going to get him started with a strike. The runner, Silas Mitchell, had taken the lead from first and is checked on there by the catcher. Several players for the Pirates have arrived and assembled just off of third base. They're up next against the Rangers. Hudak to be followed at the plate by Garrett Holt. This is in for a strike. So right now, Hudak behind in the count, 1-2. One-two offering from Bashir. That one off speed, and the ball gets away. That's going to allow number 77, Silas Mitchell, to move up to second base. So the A's have runner in scoring position. This one going to be taken for a strike. We'd mentioned earlier that the Major League Baseball A's, the Athletics, will be relocating soon to Las Vegas. Hudock down on strikes was the second out. No, check that. He's the first out. And we'll see Garrett Holt now with the runner on second base. Pitch on the way. This one is going to miss. No, called strike to get Holt started, 0-1. But we'd mentioned that the A's will inevitably end up in Las Vegas. They're currently playing in Sacramento. Brashear going to check the runner. And this one is going to be hit in the air into right. And that one gets into right field, just off the glove of number 15, Isaac Hartline. Runners on the corners now for the A's, and we're going to give Garrett Holt the hit there. That is the first hit of the ball game for the A's. And we'll see double X, Max Voitish. But today is the birthday of Las Vegas. Las Vegas was founded today. Voitish hits this one on the ground. Right to Hartline. Hartline thought about second, flips on to first, but a run does score on the backside of that play. Good piece of hitting there by Max Voitish. 4-3 on the putout, but he picks up an RBI. Liam Turacek in the box will take a strike. Las Vegas, 1905, May 15, 1905. Originally founded as a railroad junction. And this one is hit high in the air to left. Going back, the Phillies will make the catch. And that's going to do it. And we'll line up to shake hands as this one is going to end by a score of 25-1. Bill, is that what you have?
That's what
I
I
see
have,
the scoreboard
yes.
from here. 25-1, your final score. The Phillies over the A's. The A's do scratch a run across the board, though, just prior to the conclusion of that ball game. We want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And we do have a second game coming up for you soon. That one's scheduled for a 7:30 first pitch between the Pirates and Rangers. We want to thank our sponsors, Smith Lewis Chess CPAs in Uniontown, Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law, the Sprouse Insurance Group, and Agent David Hughes, SWGI Specialist, now part of U.S. Digestive Health, the UPMC Rehabilitation Institute, and physical therapist Jim Burns, United Bank, and South Union Township Supervisors, Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott. 25-1 your final. That game included a grand slam by Bobby Newman III, who nearly did have the cycle. He needed the triple. He had 2 singles, 2 doubles, and the home run, and unofficially 6 RBIs to go along with a couple of runs and a couple of stolen bases. Not a bad day at the office for him. Also a pretty strong game at the plate for Isaac Hartline, who was 3 of 3 with a walk, 2 RBIs, 2 doubles. Pretty good day as well from Connor Boscovich, who was 3 of 4 with 4 RBIs and 2 doubles. 25-1. Again, Joshua Scully and Bill Dice here with you for this one tonight. We have another game coming up scheduled for a 7:30 p.m. start. This game was a cooperative venture with Township Supervisors Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott, along with Armstrong and Breezeline Cable and our friends at CUTV, including Gary Smith. Again, the final score 25-1 in favor of the Phillies. For Bill Dice, I'm Joshua Scully. You've been watching the South Union Township Sports Network.